exclusive hot new
high school holla.
Here it comes.
Welcome back, everyone, to the H2S2 High School Holla Sports Show City Talk Edition, brought to you by our friends at David Solomon. They design unique t-shirts and merchandise with fun, thought-provoking messages. You can purchase these unique items through the David Solomon Facebook page and the Urban Fieldhouse website. Joining us on the H2S2 show is a man considered one of the greatest Chicago Bears of all time. I put him right up there to one of the greatest ever to wear the number 55. A member of the 85 Bears Super Bowl team, and he continuously stays heavily involved in helping the youth of Chicago through his charity organization. We welcome Otis Wilson to the H2S2 show. Welcome, Otis.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here. Good to talk to you. COVID-19 thing going on. You know, things that are not usual times, but we got to do the best we can to stay healthy and still get that word out, because that's the most important thing. And I'm just glad to be here, and I'm honored.
But Otis, we always like to ask our first-time guest of the show to share with us one of the best high school memories you have as a player.
Wow, I got so many of them. God almighty, which ones do I choose? Probably back in 1974. We won the city championship in Brooklyn, New York. I went to Thomas Jefferson High School, and Mo Finkelstein was the head coach at that time. And, playing, you pretty much play every position out there in high school. So wherever Mo put me, that's where I played that weekend. Tight end, fullback, linebacker. I was there, everything, man. He told me, at one time he was thinking about putting me at quarterback. I said, Mo, I'm glad you didn't do that. The most memorable moment was, it was 7-0 score. We played D-Wood Clinton in the Bronx. And they were beating us, and with like 5 minutes to go, we drove down the field and we scored. And so that made it 7-0. They got the ball. They drove down the field and scored. And the last, there was a pass play. I batted the ball down, and we won 7-6, city championship. That was our second city championship in 74. And so we won it back-to-back, 74 and 75.
A great high school memory. Now, I gotta ask this, Otis. Does every defensive player always play offense at some point in their career?
Well, starting out, like you play on the playground. I mean, I idolized all the running backs, and all the wide receivers. You thought, you thought you was Chuck Foreman or Lynn Swan. You just wanted to be everybody. I mean, so yes, you experiment, you get out there, and then you find a fit, because you kind of fall into it, and it don't find you, you find it, and it just happens. I mean, with I would say, aggressiveness, the way I played, I fared well on defense, because I certainly didn't want to be getting hit. I'd rather be the hammer than the nail. So it just worked out that way. At fullback, I ran the ball well, but I got tired of people banging on me. I said, I'm going over the linebacker and stay. And that's what I did.
Now, Otis, we have a lot of student athletes that listen and follow the show. Tell us what the process was like for you being recruited out of high school, and how did you come to your college decision?
Wow. I mean, and it was wide open back in the 70s. I think I visited probably maybe 20, 25 schools around the country. And, from Ohio State to Michigan, Syracuse, Louisville, Iowa State. I mean, and mind you, I'm flying by the seat of my pants, because myself, as well as my parents, had no idea what was going on, other than the fact that these white men sitting in her living room telling them what they can do for her son. And the key word was a free scholarship, because there were 6 of us, and obviously she couldn't afford all 6 of us, to go to college. My grandmother was an entrepreneur, and my grandfather had a record store in Brooklyn, and they paid for my older brother. He was the first one to go to college in the family, and I knew my deal was I had to get my own. And my vehicle was sports and football and basketball. I played it all my life, and you see the progression, each year. It was almost like a man child. They said, man, you ought to be, from Pee Wee football, you ought to be playing this on this level. In high school, you ought to be playing on this level. And then like Bo Schembecker, Woody Hayes will come into my high school locker room every other weekend or so during the off season and collaborate with my high school coach, because he was that innovative in Brooklyn. I mean, major schools would come. Johnny Majors from Pittsburgh. They would be sitting down in there going over plays, doing stuff, and basically talking about us like cattle. I got a linebacker over there, I got a tackle over there. So Marvin Battle went to Michigan, played as fullback. Tony Anthony was a tackle. He went to Ohio State, and I ended up going to Syracuse. But getting back to your original question was, I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, and talking to, going to the schools, when I went to Pittsburgh, I got paired up with Tony Dorsett. So I would talk to him, I would ask him questions, go on campus. I mean, the first time I ever been out of Brooklyn, I was 17. I mean, and I'm watching these guys, the juniors, seniors, freshmen. I mean, they kicking it. I'm like, man, college is fun. I don't know if I could do this, but your focus is football, and that they want to give you a scholarship. So, after the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh school, you kind of get the hang of it, and what's going on and what, how it goes. And the key thing is, and I tell any kid, wherever you go, education is a quality education on a college level. Go somewhere where you can play and perform and better, and hone your skills, for 4 years, and so that you get ready for the NFL if that's what's going to happen. Now, that doesn't happen for everybody. Only the ones that put the work in and the ones that are blessed. So for me, I just wanted to go somewhere where I can play and where my parents, it was easy for them to come see me, because all they had to do was get on a train from Brooklyn right up to Syracuse every weekend and come check me out. But once I got up there, I didn't like the environment. That was like way too white for me, and it just wasn't, it just didn't suit me. So I said, and this is God's honest truth, I said, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, this is the school I want to go. And I picked Louisville. I said, I want to go south, but not too far south, because I'm a city guy. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. And that's how I ended up at the University of Louisville. My high school Mo kind of got mad at me. He wanted me to stay there and stick it out at Syracuse. I'm like, Mo, that's not the place for me. I got to feel comfortable where I'm at so that I can go out there and shine. And the rest is history.
Man, I like that. I like that process, but it's amazing because behind your story, there's so many student athletes in Chicago that can really gain some knowledge off of that, because they need that type of understanding. And that was great. But what was your transition from high school to college like? Was it tough?
It wasn't that tough. Yes, you had to put the work in, because obviously on every level, the guys are bigger, stronger, and faster. So, and I came out of high school, I was 190 pounds, fullback and linebacker. So, getting on that training table, I jumped right straight up to about 220, and, juggling school, because number one, you're a student athlete first, and then so that was like weighing on you, because you had to make sure you had to get your books right or you couldn't play, and then make that adjustment. So it was a tough adjustment, but the good Lord, I thank him, he put something in me that when I left home, my homeboy, World Be Free, at that time he was Lloyd Free, World Be Free said, oh, when you go up there, you got to have the eye of the tiger. Don't let nothing stop you. And I went up there with that mentality, with a chip on my shoulder, And I kept my mouth quiet, because Frank Maloney, who was the head coach at that time, he said, all Americans stand up in this room. The whole room stood up. He said, this is the best of the best around the country. You guys got to make this team. And all I did was look at everybody, size them up. I said, I got my work cut out. And I just went up there and I just started knocking people out.
I like that. And for those young folks listening, World Be Free is someone you really need to know from the Hoop Squad era, boy. I'm telling you, World Be Free was something to watch.
Yeah, I lived on the first floor and he lived on the fifth floor. Believe me, I spent a whole lot of time on that blacktop.
Oh, you can work them, Otis? Okay. All right. Now, Otis, you had a very successful college career at Louisville, which led to you becoming a first-round draft pick of our beloved Chicago Bears in 1980 NFL draft, and 5 years later, eventually winning the Super Bowl championship in 1985. How would you summarize your NFL career and the platform it gave you to do what you're doing today to help other people?
Wow. Well, when put it this way, college was, that's where you hone your skills and you keep your fingers crossed and you pray a lot. Hopefully you get a chance where you can show what you can do on the big level. And it worked out well. I ended up a first-round draft pick, the 19th player in the first round, the only linebacker to go in the first round that year. And coming to Chicago, it was another eye-opener for me, because that day when you come in, you have the jersey that has like number 1 on it, and you do your press conference, and I'm in there waiting because me and Matt Suey, I was number 1, and Matt Suey came from Penn State. He was a running back. He was number 2. So we were rookies that year together. And I go in the weight room waiting on my turn, and I see, I don't know if you remember him, Vince Evans, quarterback, about the same height as me, and weigh about the same as I do. And I thought he was a DB or a linebacker. He said, we introduced ourselves, we kind of talked. I said, what position do you play? He said, I'm the quarterback. I'm like, you the quarterback? I took my jacket off and started weightlifting right then that day. I said, I got my work cut out. But working with Buddy Ryan was truly a blessing. He was pretty much like my high school coach. And I think I always credit Mo Finkelstein, and I talk to him, I got to give him a call. I talk to him at least once a month to this day. I stay in close contact with him because conditioning, eating, work habits, I developed all that from him. To this day. I played at 245, I'm 230 now, and I'm in just as good a shape then as I am now. Now I'm a little older, but it's still, I credit all that to him. So coming in, I knew I was mentally, physically ready. So now all I had to do was learn the system. And Buddy had a very, 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 very complicated system. We had a playbook, I would say, that had probably maybe about 250 plays. And on every one of those plays, we have 3 or 4 different responsibilities, depending whether it came out of the high back, a 2-back, a 1-back, a guy going motion or a tight end going motion, changes your play. We call AFC, automatic front and cover, and that dictates your responsibility. So lo and behold, my head was swimming. I didn't know if I was coming or going. Sometime, and he assigned Bruce Herron to me to Bruce Herron, I should say, because I'm the rookie. He said, Bruce, I want you to teach this rook. And he called everybody, he don't call you by your name. You don't earn a name until you earn that. So he said 55, a rookie. And he said, you can't win with rookies because they get you beat every time. I couldn't stand Buddy Ryan because I didn't understand him. Because in college, we played a 5-2 defense. Basically, everybody cut across, and all I did was clean up the play and made the tackle. So here now I have responsibilities. I got to play with the linebacker inside. I got to play with the corner. I got to play with the strong safety. And I have my own responsibility. And everybody play off of everybody, knowing what they do. So until the 13th game of that year, my rookie year, I was just a special teams guy. Jerry Muckensturm got hurt. I started to leave town, get in my car and drive somewhere because I didn't want that responsibility because I knew I would screw up because I still didn't have it down. But mind you, I had enough of it where my athleticism, because sometimes I would just go blitz and tackle the quarterback, and Buddy be cussing me out over there. What is he doing? Bruce, what did you tell 55? Good play though, because I sacked the quarterback, so he couldn't say nothing. But he cussed me out in the meeting because I just screwed up the responsibility. But that's what I had to do. I mean, I had to let my athleticism go because if I'm a thinking man, you can't play. And so by thinking, slowed me down. But once I got it, because I sat with Buddy, from that point on, I sat with him and understood, and he showed me, what he's looking for in an offense and how to stop that offense. And I understood the game plan and the scheme. It was like letting the dogs out and run. Because by then, I just tell Todd Bell sometimes, I give him a finger like this. And then sometimes if I'm supposed to blitz, he go blitz. I go cover his man because I had foot speed. And when I'm working with Terry Smith on the corner, I see that guy coming in. I know somebody's going out. I would take that guy, and when the tackle blocked down, I get in the running lane. So it was just so many different responsibilities. So it was a task, but we had the most, phenomenal athletes, because Hampton came the year before me. Then I came the second year, and from then on, every year, I think 83 was our best draft ever because probably, from Wilbur Marshall to Jimbo Covert, all that collection, that group was intact. And you can see it from 82, 83, 84, 85, how we started just whooping on people. I mean, everybody just came together. Everybody enjoyed one another. I mean, we partied on and off the field. We all got along well. I mean, Walter was franchise. Buddy said, hey, touch Walter. You touch Walter, hurt Walter, I'm cutting you because that's the only thing we got over there. So we left Walter alone. Everybody else was fair game. And the defense came together. I mean, you're talking about going down that line. I mean, we had Wilbur, myself, but Al Harris that sat out that year in 85. Todd Bell sat out that year in 85. They were original, starters. And Dave Gerson came in, took Todd Bell's place, and Wilbur took, Al Harris' spot. And we didn't skip a beat. We just kept on rolling. I mean, everybody in that defense except Les Frazier, Mike Richardson, and Fridge, Mike Hardenstein, which they rotated him with Fridge. Everybody was a two-time Pro Bowl. I mean, Richard down on that end and Wilbur. Who are you going to double team over there? Me and Hampton on the other side, on the strong side. Who are you going to double team over here? Singletary in the middle. Fridge coming up in the middle with McMichael. All we did was tell Les Frazier, Finchick, and all those guys, get on that DB because he's going to throw the ball right away. If you don't throw the ball, he's going to be hurt. And that's how we played all day long.
And we appreciate your NFL career here in Chicago because it meant a lot to many of us. But more importantly than that, you continue to help the communities throughout Chicago. Tell us about some of the many things you are doing through your charitable association.
Well, let me back up a little bit because, my grandmother and my mother always instilled in me. She said, Otis, well, I'm not going to tell you what they used to call me, but they didn't call me Otis, but they used to call me Bobby when I grew up. So I don't know why, don't ask me why. You've been blessed to be a blessing to other people. And I'll never forget that, because I used to give my grandmother, my mother's money, and they give it away. She said, I just gave it to the lady in church. They needed more than me. I'm like, okay. And so that instilled in me, whenever I got the opportunity, whenever I got the chance to give back. I mean, when you're an athlete, you get taken out of your community in Brooklyn, New York, get thrust into a pretty much predominantly white community up in Lake Forest where we were practicing at. And, you know, you don't see see people like yourselves all the time. You see, you know, a lot of different colors. And I used to go to, they had this organization called the Boys and Girls Club. You know, Vivi Sori, you know, he headed that up. And so he would always, him and Walter would, you know, drag me, they didn't drag me down there. They said, come on with us. And we go down there and we hang out in the community on the west side. And I think it was in Lawndale. And that's pretty much how I started. You know, I started with the Boys and Girls Club. I started with the YMCAs and just really a lot of the local Chicago, you know, entities. But then I said, you know, just something inside my spirit was saying, you know, you can do a little more. You know, that's when I started my non-for-profit. And you had to learn a lot of lessons because I did a golf outing. And I didn't know what I was doing. I raised about $25,000, and it cost me $25,000 to put it on. So I had to end up spending money out of my pocket to give to the charity. And I said right then and there, whenever you raise money, you got to raise money to cover all your expenses. Then you got to raise money, enough money to give to the charity. So that's pretty much, and to this day, I still do my golf outing. You know, this year's in August. I pushed it back. You normally in July. But, you know, my thing was, where do I fit in? How am I going to fit in? And we started out a technology program, you know, in, you know, health and fitness. As I said, number one, if you're healthy, that gives you a great advantage. And if you're knowledgeable, you know, that gives you that extra 1-2 punch. And so I always instilled in these young people, I said, God has blessed you. Your body's your temple. You know, you can't help nobody if you can't help yourself. And so we started the fitness program. You know, we had the nutrition part of it, and we had the, you know, the computer classes. You know, and then we would help them with their homework. That's the original. And then it matured into, you know, a financial literacy piece. Then we have the martial arts program. We have the nutrition program. We have the internship program where we get them jobs when they get out of school. You know, then we have the girls' dance program because sometimes you have to separate the girls from the boys. They got to have their own little thing. But really the reality of it is the reason why we had so many things that we were doing because I saw the condition our community was in. That we lacked in just so many departments. You know, they didn't have this, they didn't have that, but yet they were resilient because under all that pressure and stress, it still came every day. Now, you might have to instill stuff in them every day, but that's only because some parents, it was no parent, it was one parent, it was an uncle, it was an aunt, it was a grandmother. Yeah. It was just, you know, I don't want to say a hopeless situation, but it was just a difficult situation for that young boy or girl. And our age group was from 8 to 18. I worked with all Chicago public school kids. I used to do it through the Park District. I used to go right straight into the schools. You know, any way we can connect with them, that's what we did. We now up to about, I would say probably, right now we got free reign. We can work with as many schools as we want, you know, and that's depending on the dollars and cents. But at least minimum about 15 schools I work with. And, you know, then I added the football program because that's my world. And, you know, I will continuously work in the community and get them to understand you have to have a game plan in life. You don't have a game plan, you don't know where you're going, you don't know where you're from, you can't get anywhere. You're going to be spinning your wheels in the mud. And to have that game plan, you got to be mentally and physically strong. You know, because there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be some roadblocks. There's going to be a lot of deterrence. You know, some people, some of your friends ain't going to want to be your friend no more because you're trying to do right. But hey, don't worry about that. We all went through that. Yeah, I mean, I can tell you personally, you know, I got a lot of homies that locked up, killed, beat up, still in Brooklyn, but they still my homies. I mean, but yet I chose a different path. I said, I got to get out of here, y'all. I can't hang with y'all. I got to go to practice. So that's basically, you know, my total reason for, you know, giving back started with my family, my grandmother, and, you know, imparting that wisdom, and until this day, so I can't do it no more. I'm gonna still do what I can do for our young people, and I'm not, COVID-19 ain't gonna stop me. Hey, the only person gonna stop me is good Lord. When he says job well done, then it's done.
And you can't grow weary doing good work. That's for sure.
I have fun doing it. I love it because I stay in shape. I mean, they used to hate me when I first came in there, man. No, why am I running? Why am I doing this? I'm sore. I used to come with notes, trying to get it from their parents. And well, my son can't work. I'm like, man, he's using muscles he never used before. That's why he's sore. Hey, he'll be fine. Now I get letters and notes from my parents. When are you coming back? My son loves it. He gets off the couch now. He don't even deal with the PlayStation. He does physical. He eats better. She said you've worked miracles. So, when they know better, they do better.
I know that's right. Now, Otis, you mentioned it, and I wanted to talk a little bit more. You've taken time to partner with Chicago Public Schools and the CPS Sports Administration. Talk about this partnership and your efforts in helping CPS football.
Well, and talking with a lot of the coaches and doing my 7-on-7 programs and my, football skills and drills camps, and then really just watching them from afar. You see the condition our high schools are in. I mean, a lack of athletes. Some schools only have 15 or 20 kids out because kids don't want to play football. Kids is too rough for them. There are a lot of reasons why they don't play. And so it was hard getting kids, out to play. And then, at that one point when the NBA was taking kids out of high school, that really made it hard because you had football guys trying to fit into a basketball body and just trying to skip right through and just go right into the NBA. And only a few of them made it, but still that was, it was a culture in coaching. They only wanted that LeBron James kid. They didn't want those kids that they had to develop and spend time with that wasn't at that level. They just wanted that kid that gave them a name so they can, college coaches respect. So I just said simply this, let me do what I can do for my end. Teach them the fundamentals, because I've always said, if they're fundamentally sound, it's going to be hard to beat them. You're going to have to work hard to beat somebody fundamentally sound. And that's pretty much, I started with 2 teams. I started with, so I got to a point where now they're really starting to recognize what I'm doing, and I'm trying to do more coaching clinics and getting the coaches prepared, because a lot of times the coaches are not prepared. They know how to play the game, but they don't know how to coach the game. That's why kids, I know how to play the game, but there's certain things I'm not going to be very versed in coaching. So, I just do what I can, and we build it one team at a time, and eventually my goal is to get the NFL involved, to get some money put into this thing where we, get them all uniforms and get them all the quality coaches, train the coaches, train the athletes, where they can compete. Because that's really all you want them to do, is to get out there and compete. And if they don't get an opportunity to compete, their scholarship is limited.
Now, for those listeners who might think that playing sports is mostly a hobby for young people, how important is football and other sports for inner city youth today?
Football, baseball, basketball is not a hobby anymore. It is the way to a successful career and a launching pad to put an individual like I did, with no bank account to a nice bank account, to be able to take care of your family, to be able to do things that you never imagined that you could do. Yes, it's a game. Yes, we play a game. But the elite players, they flourish. We can't compare our dollars to the dollars that they're giving away today, because from in the 80s to the 90s, we played for pennies compared to what these kids are playing for now. So I tell kids, this is the means, number one. If you play well in high school, you might have an opportunity to get a scholarship. That will propel you, number one, to qualify you in the job market, in the job world when you have a college degree. football is a small window, 10-year window span. After that, they start looking at you like you're crazy. They want a young kid to come in for less money, and you making more money. They're gonna cut your money short, give it to the young kid coming in. So to get to that big level, and not many get there, then you can flourish. So I don't look at it as a hobby. I look at it as an opportunity and a means to get you over the hump and take care of you for the rest of your life and your friends and your family.
And as you mentioned, from high school, it leads you to a quality education. It doesn't matter where you go. God gave you an ability to get something great.
They can't take that education away from you. I mean, when they see that, they look at that, well, what kind of degree you got? Or what is this? What is that? If you don't have it, then you kind of date the beck and call.
Now, how can our listeners further support the Otis Wilson Charities, and what can they do to help your efforts?
Well, the biggest thing is, because you never can do anything by yourself. You're only good as the team that you put together. And I appreciate in the beginning you said you have some volunteers, because we always doing events. We always, need volunteers. So you can just go to the website, Otis Wilson Charitable Association.org. Click onto it where it says contact. Leave your contact information. We won't, compromise your information in any way. We keep it discreet. We'll call upon you when needed, and when we're doing stuff, because this year we're not doing a whole lot of stuff because of the C-19. But for the most part, we do 3 or 4 events a year, and a lot of people go to the website and leave your information. We just redid our website. It looks nice. I talked to the web guy today. I talked to my daughter. I gave the approval. Let's put it out there. So, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be, unfortunately, it's going to probably be about 6 months before we do anything. And we don't know until we get this virus thing under grips or, cure. It's kind of hesitant to put a lot of people in close contact. So, and all the stuff I do is like hands-on. So, just leave that contact information, Otis Wilson Charitable Association.org, and look us up and see what we do more. And there's some great reading on there. We have a lot of, huge sponsors, and, it's just been a blessing. I tell you, good people always want to be around good people. I played a lot of golf. I played with a lot of, CEOs, and first thing they ask you, well, what are you doing now, Otis? I said, I'm getting ready to hit it down this fairway about 300 yards on you, but take your money. Then I want you to come on board with me with this charity, and then by the end of the day, you get to know somebody and play with them for about 3 hours, and no one has said no. I mean, if it's not financial, they know somebody that can do financial. They do what they can do, because everybody don't have the grit, everybody don't have the time, but you just weed through everybody and use everybody where their strengths are.
And we want people to sign up, even though it might be 6 months out. Sign up now. Let's use your time, talent, and resources, so when the time comes, we have people in position ready to work. Roll up them sleeves. Let's help the community. Now, Otis, Chicago has been a part of a lot of unrest that has occurred across the nation. I just want to ask you, what words of encouragement do you have for the city of Chicago?
Well, it's unfortunate, and this interview will last probably 3 weeks, in talking about the situation. The people of color has been at the bottom for so long, and the system's been designed to keep us down there. And the police system and the financial system is not in our favor. One thing I loved about sports was, you got an equal playing field. When you got white boys out there, and hey, your rule ain't no different than mine. I'm gonna take your bread, or you gonna take mine. And obviously, you knew who took what, because I ended up. But society is not like that. And so I say to young black men, and just really people of color, I mean, and even though we educate ourselves, get the best education, we still at a disadvantage, because they always find a way to, give that other guy, the job or put other rules in play, bend the rules so that you really stay where you are. And, but don't let that deter you, because as long as you're educated, you still can come out on top. Now, for our young men, the police system had been designed to suppress us, to keep us in place. So I tell them, comply. Whenever you get stopped, police officer always say something, you'd have the right to call 911 and ask for a supervisor to come out right on that spot if you feel threatened. Don't go back and forth with them, because you don't win. We had, my family, I got sisters that have been in law enforcement. I got nephews right now in the New York City Police Department. When you screw up, they just keep on coming. When they dial 1013, that means a cop needs assistance. They come from everywhere. You're not going to win. So I tell you, comply with them. If you feel threatened, dial 911, tell them you want a sergeant or a lieutenant to come out on the scene, tell them where you are, and by law, they got to do it. If anything else happens from that point, that guy, now I would love to say he would be in trouble, because there's so many of them that done some things that they haven't been in trouble. And then we just as black folks are really sick and tired of what's going on. You see what's with the Aubrey and, the George Floyd. I mean, enough's enough. And we just have to stand up together. We have to learn how to be together. And what I'm seeing in this move now is somewhat back like the 60s when they were together. Because that's one thing that we haven't been, after a while. Because when I can't even think of the gentleman's name, got shot 16 times.
Laquan McDonald. We protested, then it stopped and went away. You can't stop. We got to put pressure on them, make them uncomfortable. So I say to them, be steady in what you do. Be out there, be boisterous, and stand up for your rights. I mean, because, it's got to stop at some point. I mean, like I do, every life is valuable, especially ours. I mean, they've been taking us for long enough. I was just listening on the news where they lynched a couple of young men, one in California, one in Texas, I think, somewhere. Come on, I mean, this is getting crazy. And I hope that people listening and watching this will come to understand that, we can't just let it die down. We have to continue to stand up and for our rights.
And education is power. I mean, we have to educate ourselves, know the situation, and just keep moving forward. I mean, don't be satisfied. Nothing to learn. At 62, I'm still learning.
I'm right there learning with you. Now, Otis, we always let our guests acknowledge those family, those friends who support you and all that you do. Who would you like to, as we say on the show, give a big holler out to? Who's been supporting you?
Wow. I mean, oh God. I would say number one, Quincy Wilson, my son, is down at the University of West Virginia, West Virginia State College, coaching running backs. My daughter Kyla, that works for me, that runs the day-to-day operations, and I always say I got a lot of great friends. Jim Reynolds at Loop Capital has been a blessing. I mean, Lyle Logan at Northern Trust. I mean, Larry Bacala, Tyler Lane Construction. I mean, it's going to take me about 30 minutes to run down that list, but Michael Jordan, I mean, I talk to him at least, every other week. Richard Dent, I mean, I talked to him yesterday. I mean, Dan Hampton. I mean, the key is family and friends are everything. I mean, the older you get, the more you appreciate your family and your friends. And I've learned my teammates are brothers for life. Even going back to high school, I still talk to Frank Buckley, Clark Lamboy, Bernardo Paez, all those guys. We get together, Willie Holmes, then all my Wilbur Marshall. I can't wait to get to go see him in Hawaii. He just moved out there. I said, well, hey, save me a room, So yeah, I mean, just all my partners that become brothers for life, and my family, my sisters and brothers, my kids, my grandkids, my people that keep the foundation running strong, and it's just a blessing. And I thank the Lord that He's instilled in me the energy, and I just keep learning and keep getting that wisdom and staying around good people, because you don't know everything. And you're only as important as your team. So I put myself around the right people to keep me built up. And I probably in some way build them up as well, because I always throw my 2 cents in.
Well, we want to thank our special guest, former Chicago Bear Otis Wilson, for joining us on this special H2S2 edition of City Talk here on the High School Holla Sports Show. We appreciate your time, brother, and all that you do throughout the Chicago community. Thank you, Otis.
Well, I certainly appreciate you, and thank you much. And you're doing a great job. And I see you got the Bears. I got to say, go Bears. And,
No, I'm rocking.
Thank you much for allowing me to, a platform to talk about what I do, and, and just put that positive message out there, because I tell them, be strong, stay safe, and, keep God first.
High School Holla.